Imagine a man accused of horrific crimes suddenly vanishing before trial, not by running off to another country, not by faking his death, but by literally disappearing into the earth. For years, no one could find him. Police, family, even locals thought he'd escaped the state. But when a hunter stumbled across a strange hidden door buried in the Wisconsin woods, the truth of where Jeremiah Button had gone and how he had survived would leave everyone speechless. Jeremiah Button seemed like your average small-town guy. Born in 1975 near Warsaw, Wisconsin, he lived a quiet life with his parents well into his 30s. He wasn't popular, but he wasn't invisible either. That quiet, slightly odd neighbour who liked computers and tinkering with electronics. People thought he was intelligent, even gifted, but a bit off. What nobody knew was that behind his calm, geeky exterior, Jeremiah was hiding something deeply disturbing. Between 2006 and 2012, under the same roof where his parents slept, he repeatedly abused a relative. She was a minor. When the victim grew older and found the courage to speak out, it shattered the illusion of Jeremiah's quiet life forever. In 2014, the truth finally came out. Police searched Jeremiah's home and found thousands of illegal images and videos, many that he had filmed himself. The footage was time-stamped, clear, and unmistakably taken inside his home. Jeremiah was arrested and charged with multiple felonies, from possession of child pornography to child enticement. With evidence stacked against him, prison was inevitable. But instead of being locked up, Jeremiah was released on a $25,000 bond. He had to hand over his passport and stay off the internet, but otherwise, he was free to roam the state. He played along for 2 years, attending his hearings and acting cooperative. But while everyone thought he was preparing for trial, Jeremiah was secretly preparing for something much bigger, an escape no one would see coming. In 2016, just 2 weeks before his trial, Jeremiah was gone. He'd left a note for his mother claiming he was heading to Florida to start a new life. Investigators tried tracing him, but there were no tickets, no bank activity, and no digital trail. Some thought he'd been murdered. Others believed he'd fled the country. His family hoped he'd just gone to live quietly somewhere else. But the truth was, Jeremiah hadn't gone far at all. In fact, he was closer than anyone imagined, hiding deep in the woods beneath layers of soil and secrecy. For years, his name stayed on Wisconsin's most wanted list. But every tip led nowhere. Nobody thought to look underground. Fast forward to August 2019. In the quiet town of Ringgold, Wisconsin, local hunter Tom Nelson was walking a familiar trail when he noticed something off. Tracks in the snow that someone had tried to cover with pine branches. That alone was strange enough to raise alarm. Following the markings, Tom stumbled upon a door built right into the side of a hill. Nearby was a homemade septic system, the kind that had been used. It freaked him out so much that he backed away and called police, but they couldn't locate what he'd seen. Months later, his curiosity got the better of him. Tom returned, found the same hidden door and pushed it open. Inside, he found food cans, wires, and an eerie single light bulb swinging from the ceiling. But what really froze him was when something moved. Lying on a bed in the corner was none other than Jeremiah Button, staring right back at him. Turns out Jeremiah had never left Wisconsin. After skipping trial, he hopped a freight train, covered himself in coal dust to avoid detection, and trekked 2 days on foot to a bunker he'd spent nearly 2 years building. Hidden beneath the earth and camouflaged with branches and brush, his underground hideout was astonishingly well built. It had solar panels for electricity, a stationary bike for backup power, a water filtration system, and shelves stacked with canned food. He even had a flat-screen TV hooked up to a DVD player, stocked with, disturbingly, children's shows.
In the backwoods of Marathon County, 30 miles from Wausau, this is the bunker.
Come up and you take this left right here, you'll see the entrance to the shelter.
Where Jeremiah Button hid from police and the world for years.
This is the shelter that he built/lived in for the 3.5 years that he was on the run. Up top, you can see that's where his bed was. His head would weight to the right there, his feet to the left. You see his TV, his radio.
Charged with first-degree child sexual assault and child pornography in 2016, his parents paid $25,000 cash to bond him out, and police say Button then took off, building a bunker into an embankment on public lands deep inside the woods.
He had access to heat. It stays relatively cool in here in the summertime, as you can feel. With the surrounding rock walls. There was nothing that would indicate that he was suffering in any way. The 15 years I've worked for the Sheriff's Department, I've never seen anything quite like this.
He strategically built the bunker near a landfill where he could salvage all the supplies he needed to build a self-sustaining shelter.
Obviously, it's a little bit of a pack rat type of situation, but obviously Jeremy Button had some sort of background or the ability to learn quickly how to disassemble and reassemble things to make his life better out here.
The bunker sat near a landfill where he scavenged for supplies, completely off-grid but fully functional. It wasn't just a hideout, it was a full-blown underground home. For over 3 years, Jeremiah lived there alone, undetected and isolated from society, until Tom accidentally found him.
But one noticed he was out hunting in late November when snow was on the ground.
What I found was somebody trying to cover their tracks, which I thought was really strange. Someone must have taken a pine bough and was covering their tracks.
It was that November day Nelson found the doorway to Button's bunker. The feeling that something was very wrong consumed him for months until Friday.
I walked up to the door, pushed it open, saw all the stuff in there. I'm like, wow. Turned the light on my phone, started walking in there. I saw him move. I saw him move in the bed. I backed out. And man, I was just shaking the whole time.
As soon as Nelson had cell reception, he called sheriff's deputies. Nelson guided the deputies to the bunker, and after a 20-minute standoff, Button came out and was detained.
There was just something that told me that I need to go in there and find out what's going on. So that's what I did, and luckily the guy's behind bars, and hopefully the people that he offended sleep better knowing he's behind bars.
When police arrived at the scene, Jeremiah refused to come out at first. For 20 tense minutes, he threatened to harm himself rather than face arrest. But eventually he surrendered, calm, polite, and eerily relieved. He told officers it felt nice to have human contact again. After years of total isolation, those were some of his first real words to anyone. Authorities searched the bunker, seizing his electronics, hard drives, and all his makeshift equipment. In court, Jeremiah admitted that nobody knew about the bunker. Not friends, not family, no one. He said he built it as a way to punish himself for his crimes, though most people believed it was just a way to avoid prison and the brutal reality awaiting him inside. In 2020, Jeremiah Button pleaded no contest to multiple felony charges. He was sentenced to 34 years in prison, meaning he'll be in his 70s before he's eligible for release. In 2021, his bunker was demolished by the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. It took several days to dismantle the entire structure, including the septic tank, still full by the way. Today, all that remains is a patch of dirt and a few broken branches where his underground world once existed.
No excuse for what I've done, nor can I explain it. I know at the time I came up with justifications for it, but the bottom line is I was sick and out of my mind.